Ayy, give me the chip, I need the championship. Wait, we got a dream, next to the team, yeah, we can handle it. Wait, soon as I go and I step in arenas, they call me the champ. They know what it is, know what I do, know who I am, who don't understand. Yeah, that's overdue. My trophy say that's overdue. My ring, finna be immortalized. Yeah, they know it's true. They couldn't walk a mile or even fit into my shoes. Still, I got a lot to prove, but for all that we've been through, this overdue. This the anthem. Pull up and you know the team is strong. This your anthem. All my underdogs. Everybody get your hands up. Sometimes it's hard, but we made it through. We were struggling for a minute, so that when
I want to go ahead and welcome you guys to week 4 of the 915 High School Football Insiders page. Before we begin, as a staff, we wanted to go ahead and give our condolences to the Esparza family. Daniel Esparza, may you rest in peace, sir. You'll be very missed. To the Bowie community, also forever. Just so you guys are aware, on September 17th, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. on 7363 Dale Road, they'll be having burgers, fries, and drinks for $8 to raise money for the funeral expenses, and we'll go ahead and post that as well on our video so you guys can see that as well. My name is Trey Smith. This is Britt Hallman, Mario Rodriguez, and welcome to week 4 of the show. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to recap our game of the week down in Trooper Stadium in Eastwood Lands. We had the Eastwood Troopers coming out of a shootout with the Pebble Hill Spartans, 49-42. And my guy Brent's going to go ahead and start us off as he's wearing this beautiful Eastwood shirt.
New trooper over there.
So, hey, a good man admits when he's wrong. Hey, thank you to Melanie. Thank you to Jesse, Kitana, for making sure I got me a beautiful trooper shirt to show the error in my ways with picking last week's game. A good man admits when he's wrong. Hey, so definitely, hey, had it wrong last week. I got the shirt on. And we'll continue that theme. If I get it wrong on a game of the week, hey, I put the right shirt on the following week when we got to talk about it. But I'll be honest, in that game, the thing that really stuck out to me was those troopers up front on the defensive line. And I'm going to talk about two a little bit selfishly, as you as well. We used to coach these young men, and that is Conrad and John, 8 and 9 respectively.
Yes.
8 and 9 respectively,
Same
defensive
side.
tackle, defensive end on the same side. I tell you what, those guys lived in the backfield of Pebble Hills, and I think that right there was the deciding factor. The rhythm got off a little bit, and I tell you what, that right there set everyone else up for success, because when you get that rhythm off, it just messes things up, and you know that as a defensive guy, so do I. I was just really impressed with the pressure they got up front. And I'll be honest, both of those guys, they're not the big squatty body defensive linemen. They're the thin, tall, athletic, fast guys that I've always liked on the defensive line. And I tell you what, they really impressed me. And the only regret I had is I wasn't able there to watch it in person. I had to watch it over the Eastwood media, their media group. Hey, shout out to those young people. That was a great job. Hey, I love the presentation. I wish more high schools in El Paso did it. I think it's great, especially because this is a military town. I can tell you like this, there's lots of kids across El Paso that the majority of their family is not in El Paso. So things like that Eastwood's media team does is great, and I really enjoyed it. Mario, what did you think about the game?
You know, I'll be honest. It started off fast for Eastwood, and somehow, some way, Pebble Hills made a run. But you're right. The defensive line was the difference from the get-go. Quarterback play was outstanding from both guys. But to me, what stood out the most was how composed Mr. Evan Minhares was the entire game.
Friend of the show. I tell you what, kids we've had on this show always do well. Please continue.
Now, mind you, he didn't have the D-line in his face the whole game, so Gael did a good job as well. But I thought just the way he handled that whole game was what was impressive to me.
That long touchdown run was pretty, man. That was nice.
Yeah, okay. My thing, up front, but on the other side of the ball. That Eastwood offensive line, dominated that whole game. There's a reason why
Max Mencia.
There's a reason why Max Mencia as well as Evan both rushed for over 100 yards.
No line, no shine.
No line, no shine. And once again, Evan still has not been yet to be sacked this year. Another one. So again,
That's not true. He was sacked.
He was sacked.
Yeah, he was sacked.
Okay,
yeah, Dorian sacked him.
All right, stop.
No, it's okay.
Where he's at?
He got sacked.
No. We'll just rewind it and then
Yeah, I could just.
You don't want him to look like a jackass.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
want to. I don't want to look.
Oh, yeah,
I don't
my
want
bad,
to look
my
like a
bad.
dickhead.
Yeah.
Hey, we
I
still
mean, we know you are,
still
but-
could say, hey, Pebble Hills got after him, got 2 sacks. We
Okay.
can acknowledge the sacks. We just don't want him looking like a fuckface either.
Yeah.
You know?
So where were
I
you?
think it's either 1 or 2, but I might be 1.
Dorian
I
had
won
one.
her.
But was it like a run, a quarterback design run, or did he
The
drop back and
pocket,
get
the
sacked?
pocket
Yeah.
collapsed and they got him. Yeah,
And they probably scored the next play.
probably honestly.
Come on, man. That's a low blow, man.
I was there at the game.
Which
fella.
side?
All right, man.
you
All
on?
right, man. Hey, go back, man.
Is it still playing?
Yeah, I'm still recording. I'm just
Okay.
gonna take it out.
Okay.
All right. So once again, Evan Mijares was back there sitting pretty comfortable that day, and he got pressured once or twice.
Yeah.
But that offensive line, they're stout. You know, you have when you see guards that are small like that and are stout, but they could run. What a difference it made. And on the defense side of the ball, like you said, Conrad and John, as well as their other defensive end, number 6, he was flying around, and he made them big blitz from Pebble Hills work.
Yeah, I again, good point. Impressed with that side of their line up front as well. They did do a great job. That was also my first time. Still didn't see it in person, but that was my first time looking at a complete game with Max Mencia. And I tell you what, that young man is impressive.
He is good, Brent. He is definitely a hard.
The one thing I will say that irritated me, I don't know why it's irritated me, is everyone wants to talk about his size. But I tell you what, he looked like the biggest man on that damn field to me.
Yeah.
Like everyone, this little, he looks like the big man on campus. When it's 53 by 120, he looked big enough for government work, man, as they say.
I think there's a reason why. I think Evan and Max are like 1 and 3 in the rushing yards in the city of El Paso right now.
Correct.
In the district, they're 1 and 3, and the reason being is because that stout offense line. You know.
Yeah.
Hey, they returned those 5 starters. Remember that?
All 5
We talked
of them
about that
returned.
last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
5 of them.
Impressive.
Yes, sir. Good. So again, congratulations to the Eastwood Troopers for that game. All right. So now that we talked about our game of the week from last week, we're gonna go ahead and move forward this week. We have 2 big games in 5A. Our first one is going to be the Big Bad Blue Del Valle Conquistadores traveling to the Smurf Turf on the west side to play against the Canutillo Eagles. Last year, Canutillo got beat pretty bad by Del Valle, 38-7. And they're led by Mr. Knox, led by one of our spotlight athletes of the week this week, Mr. TJ Lachlan, on the Eagle side. And Del Valle is going to counter with super sophomore and Mr. Fetty, led by Fuller and Lopez, and as well as Mr. Estrada leading the outside at corner. So, Mario, your thoughts?
Honest, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. To me, I think both defenses are very, very good. I think these quarterbacks are going to be the difference, to be honest. I know that Mr. Carrillo over there is still, not fully ready yet. So, to me, I think that would be the difference. But I would really like to see this game because it's going to be one of those really hard fought-out games that it can go either way. Smurf Turf, you really don't want to go against them. Not at their home. Brett?
So initial thoughts are just 2 really good, well-coached programs. I think over the last couple of years, you've had LJ Martin out at Canutillo, so it kind of took a little bit of the spotlight away from the overall program. But I tell you what, there's good players all over that Canutillo program. Same thing out there at Del Valle. It's just a well-balanced program that, everyone makes the joke or uses the catchphrase, we just reload. But those are 2 programs like that that I'm really impressed with, like, over time. The actual way is just like more people just come and they just got more out there. So I'm really interested to look at. I think the big key for me is going to be the offense of Del Valle. No insult to the defense of Del Valle, But I just really think with the addition of Fetty, the offense is really, really, really good. And the defense of Canutillo is also their strength. And again, year after year is really good. You talked about TJ, who we're going to interview later on. And I tell you what, he's taken over really well for Jesus Carrillo, who's graduated. And I tell you what, he's running that defense well. So I'm impressed to see that battle as it takes place.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's something interesting. I think definitely my thing on my end is I watched DB play live already. And unfortunately in the right way for them. But you showed the spurts of that defensive line. First off, they were missing one of their best D linemen, and they were fast already. They were giving trouble and problems, but they ended up burning off. But that 3-3-5 defense gives people fits, and when you have someone like Matt Lopez playing that rover dog position, where he can just pretty much roam like wherever he wants to on the field and just go make plays. Someone like that where he just knifes in the backfield, and someone that could jump 45 feet off the ground in Manny Fuller and just go get the ball out of midair and cover sideline to sideline. Something like that. That's what you want to have on your defense. And then Canutillo, Coach Bill's gonna line up and they're gonna come run right at your face. And you gotta step up and you're gonna play physical.
Hey, are most teams playing 3-3-5 now in El Paso?
Majority. Some are playing 4-2-5.
I would say there's 4-man fronts, and even fronts are kind of the minority here. I think you might have 4 programs, and I think a couple of those programs that historically have been even fronts recently changed with the change outs of some coaches. That went from 4-man.
3-4s too.
Yeah.
America's running the 3-4.
Yeah, and that's a change because America historically has been a 4-man front. Going back to the days, who's the uber talented defensive end they had a while ago, a couple years ago.
Well, he's still there, Galloway.
No. The other kid, he was an All-State kid 2 years ago. They had an All-State defensive end. Did not play college football, but he went to UT as on academics.
I don't know.
All-State player.
I don't remember, but that is tremendous.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I know somebody will comment in the comments, hey, America's fan base, All-State defensive end. Yeah. But they've had that 4-man front historically.
All right, guys, so it's time to make our picks for these games. But before we make ours, we did a little something new this week, and we had our staff as well put their input in for the games of the week. Go ahead and read those off real quick. Our guy Andres, who's behind the scenes.
Stats. That's
of
stats.
everything. Andres Stats. He chose the Canutillo Eagles to come away with it. Our director, Mr. Ben Ortega, he chose the Big Bad Blue Del Valle. Our very own personal referee, Mr. Melvin Milton, he chose the Canutillo Eagles.
Hold on, for clarification, Melvin does not referee anymore.
Nope.
Melvin's not in the rotation this year. We don't want to get Melvin in trouble.
He's our very own Gene's territory.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
He's retired. He's retired for these 4 years while his boys playing ball. Hey, but that's his pick.
And then we're going to go ahead with Mr. Ernesto Jordan, the man himself. He chose the Del Valle Conquistadores. Mr. Jesse chose Del Valle as well. And of course, Mr. Jesus Martinez down on the west side chose the Canutillo Eagles. And our other cameraman, Mr. Javier Parra, chose the Canutillo Eagles as well. All right, guys, it's time for our picks. Tell me about it, Mario.
I'm going to have to go with Del Valle. I believe both defenses are going to have a great game, but I think the difference is going to be Jake. I think Jake Fetty is going to outdo Knox. Not that Knox isn't going to have a great game. I think there's just going to be just that slight edge over.
Brett?
Okay, so I'm gonna talk about 2 athletes that I definitely think are gonna be the difference. So before I talk about them, I'll put my picks up front, because it'll give it away. I'm going Del Valle, and I tell you first and foremost, I'm gonna tell you the difference in this game is gonna be one Manny Fuller. I'll tell you right now, I think there are a couple more experienced high school football players in the area, but I don't think there's right now is a more explosive
D1 athlete already.
Player in the area. It's just like you watch that guy make plays that are impressive. And I think he's going to be the first difference on the defensive side of the ball for Del Valle. And I think, as you talked about, I think Jake Fetty is going to be another difference maker on the offensive side of the ball. That young man is impressive. Shout out to Ed Stansberry and the crew. Certified him after one game. I know there were some complaints about that. If you complain about that, you don't know football. That young man has been impressive. That young man is impressive, and I think he'll be another difference maker. And I am going to take Del Valle. Yes, and if I have to be wearing a Canutillo shirt, I'll be sitting here in orange if I'm wrong. But right now, I think I'm right with that Del Valle pick.
Me, I'm down the middle. I don't know who to pick, but I'm gonna go ahead and be that lone wolf this week. I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Kansas City Eagles. Reason being is because they're playing at home. And I just think they're gonna have that little bit of extra edge. I wouldn't be shocked if Del Valle wins, because their offense is so dynamic. You could be so the counter to beat aggressive defense is misdirection, and Del Valle does a really good job of that. But I'm gonna go ahead and stick with Kansas.
Don't forget about quarterback Knox.
Yes,
Jeremiah
Knox. He definitely leads the way for that offense, as well as Renee as well. They definitely lead that way. All right, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to our next game of the week. I know what your pick is gonna be, but I would still like to hear you talk about this, Brent. It's gonna be the Chapin Huskins going up against the Parkland Matadors, going down at Irvin High School. Tell me about it, Brent.
Hey, like we talk about, I don't pick games when it comes to Chapin. Don't let that get misconstrued with not being my son's #1 fan. I know people talk about that. That goes without question. However, I don't pick games. It's a really big game that I'm looking forward to see, though. Lots of good athletes on both sides of the football. Lots of former teammates from youth programs out there. Believe it or not, lots of next door neighbors and stuff like that. Both programs have really popular magnet schools. So you got lots of kids that travel the city to be in those programs. And I know it's going to be one. Winning the North is a big thing that all those programs out there in the Northeast take pride in. So I think it'll be a good game. I'm really looking forward to it. Of course, I'll be in person for that one. I know it's the game of the week for some other outlets and stuff. So more than anything, just want to see an exciting game.
Mario?
You know what? I think, kind of like you said, we know so many kids on both sides of on each team, both sides of the ball, to be honest. And I think that's what's intriguing to me, to go actually see these kids play, compete, have some good time, and see them hug it out after the game. I'm expecting a very, very good game, but to me, I get a pick. I am going to pick one of these teams. Relax, my friend, relax. Yeah, I'm going to pick one of these teams for you guys in a bit, but I think the difference makers are going to be the defenses on both sides of the ball. That's what I want you guys to focus on. We had one of these guys out here last week, right? I'm sorry?
Both squads were out here last week.
Actually, yeah, they both were, huh? Yeah, so we had both of them.
We kind of jumped the gun on that one a little bit.
Yeah, we did. We should have had them, yeah, but we had an offensive representative for Chapin. We had a defensive representative for Parkland, and I think that's going to be the matchup to watch. Chapin's offense versus Parkland's defense.
Okay, I'm gonna throw a name out there who hasn't had a big game yet, but I'm expecting it is gonna be Mr. Kerry Wade, the running back from Chapin. It's gonna be fun.
I don't know if I go no big game. He had a pretty big game against in game 2.
Okay, sorry about that but I'm excited to see you play against
Hey, Kerry's a pretty big guy, man. I don't want him to come here and ball you up, man.
He may
trying to keep you safe, man.
He may do that.
Because I think we're going to have him on the show, man, sooner or later, man.
Yeah, I hope he does, because I want to see that. I want to see this guy get rolled around a little bit.
And it's Chapin's homecoming as well.
Chapin's homecoming, so that's going to be a big thing as well. But just going back to that Kerry Wade matchup versus Mr. Gomez. Seeing them two go head to head every play, that's going to be fun.
Between the tackles.
Arguably one of the best linebackers in El Paso, and shoot, maybe even the state of Texas, and one of the up and coming running backs that no one has really heard of yet, as he will get to the end of the year.
Yeah.
And of course, always seeing how Davion and Brandon Tavion and all of them, how they run that offense against that Parkland team that's hungry. They're undefeated. And they're feeling really good. But you know what? It's gonna be an exciting game down at Irvin High School. It sucks because hopefully Chapin gets a home stadium here pretty soon because They have a great community. They have a good community that will go out there and support the team. So hopefully in the next couple of years, the military will cough up some of that money to build a Chapin Stadium.
Like, we don't even got to build them a stadium. Can we build them a press box?
That's literally.
Can we build them a press box? If we got some smart construction people watching, can we just get a quick estimate?
So we're gonna go ahead.
Estimate.
We're gonna go ahead and continue with the picks. Okay. Again with our staff, we have.
If you know the city council people I'm supposed to contact,
okay.
the state representative who I should contact.
I got him started. Of course.
We got to get a press box.
Leave this here.
Maybe before my son graduates.
So I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and go over our picks. Okay. Andres chose Parkland. Ben Ortega chose Parkland as well. Of course, Melvin Millen, I think he was almost guaranteed he was going to choose Chapin. Of course, Ernesto was going to choose Chapin as well, same as Jesse. Jesus as well, and same for Mr. Fada. He chose Canutillo, actually. So it looks like
Chapin and Parkland.
Chapin and Parkland. So it looks like only 2 people had picked Parkland so far, and that's the father and son duo.
Hey, do them things again, man, so far I'm like a dumbass, man. Hey, read them again, man, so we don't got Barl picking Canutillo the game. They not fucking playing it.
I'm not gonna include his pick there. Barrow's not in it. I'm sorry, but
Yeah, motherfucker, pick Canutillo, man. Hey.
All right, so
that's a lot of editing.
So again, Pada chose Chapin, not Canutillo. All right, and now we're gonna start with our picks. We know his pick already, so we're not gonna go ahead and choose.
Hey,
his.
DNA requirements.
Mario, your pick. Let me know who you got.
I need to keep you right here in the middle before this guy chases me around this damn table. But I'm gonna have to go with the Parkland Matadors specifically because of shocker. I'm gonna go with Caleb Martinez back there. I think he's gonna be the one holding it down. That downfield tackle from him is gonna be the difference.
I'm gonna pick the Chapin Huskies. Reason being, too much speed. Too much speed is gonna beat them, but it's gonna be fun seeing how they're gonna chase down Mr. Carrillo in the backfield, who has his mindset for 3,000 yards and what?
did you see him last week?
30 touchdowns. He went off last week too.
He went off for 2-something, right?
2 something last
Again,
week.
He
hey,
went off 5.
shout out.
Players.
5 touchdowns. I want to.
5
say.
touchdowns.
I want to say. I think
He's not-
I'll have to go back and check. I might be wrong. 4.
Either way,
And got
Came out to the show.
certified on Ed Stansberg.
Stansberg
And we
certified.
mentioned other shows. We love other shows, support other shows. Congratulations to that young man who
He's
got
915
certified.
certified. High
Yeah.
school football forum. He's been here, signed our ball and everything.
A friend of the show. Came on the
Absolutely.
show. Balled out the next game.
so
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
Great job.
best of wishes
That's
to
true.
these 2 teams. And our last game that we're going to talk about is a 6A game that people may be a little bit shocked about. But it's actually a very underrated, low-key good matchup, which is going to go down at the SAC, I believe. It's going to be the 3-0 Eastlake Falcons going up against the 1-2 Coronado Thunderbirds. Eastlake Falcons 3-0 against the 1-2 Coronado Thunderbirds. Eastlake, of course, led by Mr. Lomelli and Mr. Galindo in the backfield, with super sophomore Troutman averaging 71.3 yards a game. And apparently Eastlake has a super fast defense that I've seen on tape. And it is true. Them jokers fly around to the football. And, of course, on the other side, the T-Birds counter with Mr. Ben Wilson, Mr. Owen Levesque, Mr. Randag, and led by a stingy defense with Mr. Scott Strahan averaging 9 tackles a game. So, again, both teams, they got some good counterparts. But it's going to be a fun one going down at the SAC. Mario, tell me about your thoughts, brother.
To me, personally, I think Mr. Rangdag, I'm a new fan of yours. I just saw you recently. Right, so really, I'm a fan of him. Steven Galindo, I think they're going to have big games. Both of them, I think they're going to be kind of contributors to the outcome of this game. But to me, I think the defenses is going to be the overall difference. Which defense comes to play, which one comes and shuts one of these guys down. I think both teams have good quarterback play that's kind of evenly matched. You pick your poison, but to me, it falls on the defensive side of the ball. I'm a defensive side of the guy. So, to me, it's all about the defense.
Brett?
2 impressive teams. I tell you what, they both been in some tough games. I just to be honest, Eastlake started a little slow, but picked it up really quick in the second half after that rain delay, or I think it might have been a lightning delay in that game last Thursday. Started slow, finished very hot. Looked a little bit more in the second half. like what you're used to from them. Coronado, close game in a loss. Close game in a loss in their second game as well. And then a close win against Chapin. And I tell you what, I'm still, that Coronado team overall, I'm always impressed with by how well they're coached. Same thing can be said about Eastlake. Little bit different style, a little bit more flashy, but definitely two well-coached teams that I'm looking forward to seeing this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. The better defense is gonna win this game.
Yeah.
Better defense and better quarterback play. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and go over our picks now. Of course, our staff again picked again. Andres picked Coronado. Ben picked Eastlake. Melvin picked Coronado. Ernesto picked Eastlake. Jesse picked Coronado as well as Jesus. And Mr. Para chose Eastlake as well. So we'll go ahead and fly through these picks. What you got, Mario?
That sounds like an even split the way I heard it, but to
It
me,
is 5 to 4.
okay, there you go. So to me, I believe Eastlake wins in a close game. You know, Coronado's been doing that. You know, it's gonna be a heartbreaker, Coronado. I'm sorry, but I think that Eastlake defense is just gonna be the difference.
Right. Does that make it 6-4?
Yes, sir. Apparently, I thought it was 5-5, but he says
No, Coronado is up 4 to 3, so now it's 4 to 4.
Okay, so now it's even split. I'm gonna go ahead and take Coronado. I tell you what, I've just been really impressed with them. I think they're gonna put it together this game. Nothing against that Eastlake team. Lots of kids I love watch play over there. Good program. I just think that it's gonna be Coronado's night, man. For whatever reason, I think it's just gonna be the way it goes, and I think they go ahead and they pull themselves to 2-2 on the season.
Yep, I'm gonna agree, and I'm gonna pick Coronado.
Just a quick thing about Coronado. I heard in another podcast, I think it was on Coldest Zone, they mentioned a quote from Case Golding, who's the coach's son, that he didn't want them to pick him because he wants his team to feel like the underdog. So just to give you a little bit of a mentality into that team and what they feel, you know, they have that. I guess you know, it feels like they have that dog in them. So.
chip on their shoulder.
Chip on their
My
shoulder.
bad, young man. I just gave you the kiss of death by picking you. So,
Yeah,
hey,
I'm gonna go.
sorry to let you down, man. I picked you. You're not the underdog.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pick Coronado as well. I think they're finally gonna get over this hump, and part of it too is I just think Eastlake hasn't really been tested this year, and this is gonna be their first real big test of the year. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we're gonna go ahead and introduce our first spotlight athlete of the week. It's Canutillo linebacker TJ Lachlan, and so far this year he's had 17 solo tackles, 8 assists, with leads to a total of 25, with 1 interception and 1 caused fumble, and he is no brainer out there with them neon green cleats and gloves. He's definitely that standout linebacker out there, and he's the leader of that Canutillo defense. Ladies and gentlemen, no other than Mr. TJ Lachlan. How you doing? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start off with my guy Brandon.
Hey, so the big question we've been asking a lot of the other guys, man, and I know you were active. What did your off season look like getting ready for this season?
The main thing was just making a lot of camps. And,
Okay.
A lot of networking with coaches, try to just get my name out there.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so what is one of the areas that you focus on getting better at that, you know, would particularly make you get noticed by other coaches and stuff like that?
The main things that I get from coaches is speed. Speed kills in college, and that's the main thing that I worked on this offseason.
Okay, that's good, man. Your answers are answering our questions that we have already. So you know, tell me what it's like. You know, you guys coming off of that. You know, good solid year last year. You know, what's it like coming back? You know, learning from someone like Carrillo last year as that linebacker, kind of teaching you how to lead. What's it like now taking full reins of that defense as that leader and make sure everybody's ready Friday nights?
With missing the likes of that linebacker, he was a big mentor for me. I learned a lot from him, and I just took everything that he taught me and just tried to apply it to my game. And I like his style of leadership, and I just try to do it every time I go out there.
Talk about being a leader on that defense, and the other equation as of being a leader is the lead. So tell me about one of the younger guys or a guy on that defense with you that we might not have heard about yet, who's definitely going to stand out this season for Canutillo.
I think for sure, I mean, right now, I got to give it to David Alvarado. I'm sure some of y'all know his name. but he's gonna continue to keep making plays, and he's gonna be another name that you'll know.
Okay, great. We're looking forward to seeing you out there, David. Good job, good job.
So earlier you mentioned how Carrillo is one of your mentors, and now you're mentoring some of the other kids. You see LJ Martin doing wonders over at BYU. What do those guys mean to you now that they're gone?
I mean, there's nothing much we can change about that now, and they leave a little void, but I mean, we gotta do what we gotta do. But to touch up on that, I mean, we're gonna continue doing our success and continue making that.
Absolutely, great answer.
And one of the things is we'll like to ask, what are a couple individual goals that you have set for yourself this season, as well as the team goal. Everybody knows you're one of the best linebackers in the in the city, pretty much the state of Texas. What are one of those goals that you have set for yourself?
An individual goal I have for myself is definitely reaching that 100 tackles in the season, and so far I'm on track to keep that going.
Yeah, definitely. You're on track for like 120, 130 with 25 already. So yeah,
the deeper you go into the postseason, that counts
And
too.
it counts, too.
That counts. Hey, so don't be ashamed of that, man. That's why you get that postseason success. Hey, but a question I got for you before we go into our fun questions that we end with. All you guys out of Canutillo, we grew up seeing you guys all play for UVL and the Westside Eagles. So I'm gonna give you a chance to shout out some of those youth coaches out there. Who's a youth coach that really influenced you when you were younger that is kind of showing in your game today?
Definitely Coach Garay from the Huskies All-Star team. He was one of the first coaches to give me a shot. He put me in a position of leadership that I never had before, and I think it really helped me out now.
And that would have been the Showcase All-Star.
Yes, sir.
So youth, that would have been Coach Chuck Valise's crew. Okay, all right. Hey, Coach, what was his name again?
Coach Garay.
There you go, Coach. Hey, good job out there. Hey, way to influence this young man, and it's definitely paying off.
So they put you in that position of leadership. What do leaders eat, bro, before the game? Go-to song, what is it?
Go-to song for me gotta be "Took Her to the O" by King Bob. It's gotta be when everybody knows that. So I gotta play that.
All right,
And your go-to meal before a game?
So far it's been Canes.
Hey,
okay.
What about post-game meal, man? What you got post-game meal after a dub?
That's tacos.
Taco from where?
There's a place by Texas Roadhouse. I can't remember the name right now, but
Is it a stand or
it's a restaurant.
okay?
So is that after a dub or just after a game period?
After a game period.
After a game period.
Oh,
That's good.
hey. So we had a question. So everyone last week said losers don't get wings. So, but y'all don't lose a lot over there. So I guess that's it. When you win like Canutillo, it's like, hey, he was like, wait a minute. All we do is we play the game and we score more points, and then we go eat tacos. Okay, I got it, man. Hey, my bad. Hey, we didn't mean to insult you, man. And just, hey, some people lose games, man. I know you don't know a lot about that, man. So, but yeah, hey, we want to thank you for coming on to the. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, my bad. One more thing though. So, having such a long time at that school, Coach Brooks and his legend, the legend himself behind it. What's it like playing for someone like him, where he puts his full faith in you? What's that like? He's the freaking legend of El Paso. So.
It's a very big responsibility that Canutillo is known for our defense. Our community is very strong in our defense. They support us every Friday. Practice too. You got some parents coming out there. But Coach Brooks is a real big mentor of mine, and I admire Coach Brooks, and I'm sure a lot of our guys do as well. And he brings a really good energy to us.
That's good, man. All right, man. Well, here at the 915 High School Football Insider, I just want to say thank you for coming out. Best wishes this week on that Smurf turf against DV. Big game. I know you guys are going out there looking for a little retribution from last year. It's going to be fun seeing you fly around. You guys fly around, and best wishes from us at the show, man. Thank you for coming out.
Thank you very
All
much.
right, ladies and gentlemen, so we're going to go ahead and continue with our Spotlight Athletes of the Week. We have two of our athletes from here on the east side, out of 6A, the Malwood Rams. We have our quarterback, Michael Southern, cornerback, Cameron Harrelson. On the year, Mr. Southern is 67 with 102, 704 yards with 3 touchdowns, and a passer rating of 83.1. And don't let the yards fool you. He also does it on the ground with his legs. And we have Mr. Harrelson, who is as everybody knows him now, as a lockdown corner here in El Paso. He has a total of 14 tackles, 4 assists, for a total of 18, with 1 pass deflection and 1 caused fumble. The pass deflections may be low, ladies and gentlemen, but that's because no one tries to side the field. So again, Mr. Cameron Harrelson and Mr. Michael Southern.
Hey, welcome, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and start it off. You guys have definitely progressed. Mountwood is not the Mountwood of the last few years. You guys are earning them horns. What does your off season look like so you guys can get that much better, making these strides?
It starts at speed. A lot of us doing track. A lot of us, it's mandatory for a lot of us to do track now. Coach has taken a lot of steps in the off-season progress. Speed has been implemented every single day. Weight room, speed work outside, recovery. It all has to do with speed.
Just to add on that, I'd like to say we've been in the film room a lot, just getting the technical part of the game, and I think that's really been huge for our season.
That's good, and I guess that's something for I guess both of you guys to answer. What's one goal that you guys have for this season? And I'm sure as a team everybody wants that gold ball and that long playoff run. But what's that one individual goals that you guys have for each other?
I'm gonna say hitting 100 tackles for sure.
It's impressive for a corner, man.
Yeah.
I'd like to go past for 5,000 yards with postseason and all that. I think it's really doable.
Yes, sir. I mean, you already had 704 with 3 games?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you definitely hit 1,000 this week, so that's very good. Mario?
Yeah, all that is great. Sometimes when you guys put up stats like that, those goals, you guys got to be noticed by camps. Do you guys attend any camps this off season?
Yes, sir. Actually, we attended all the same camps together. We went out with our dads. Went out to think about 12 camps. Main camps being TCU, SMU, Texas State, just all around Texas, really.
All right, so one of the things that we know about is we always bring up the youth football here. Youth football is a big part of high school football and all that good stuff, right? Some of you guys learn your way up, and one thing that we wanted to know is which youth football coach influenced you guys the most?
I'm gonna have to give it to two. I'm gonna have to give it to Coach Josh and Coach
Oh, man. You gave it to him?
Kenji.
Oh,
I
man.
had to. You put me on defense.
Yeah,
Had to.
that's good, though.
I'd for sure go with Coach Mitch and Coach Tony Reyes. I mean, they're a big part of the game I play today and just taught me how to be a man.
That's good. So the big thing too is that Coach Ron Hale, he was your defensive coordinator last year. He came in as head coach. What's it like, not having to go elsewhere to find a head coach? He was able just to take over and run the program, of course, his own way. But what it's like having to buy into his system, and it obviously showed. Because preseason records don't mean much. You guys are 1-0 when it counts. So what's it like, kind of buying into that system?
He's been preaching to us the brand to be the toughest, hardest working, most competitive team in Texas, to strive for that every day, and he preaches that to us. He's preached a more physical, fast football to us.
For sure, yeah. I think he pushes us to be our best every single day and doesn't settle for anything less.
That's good.
One of these Coach Rahel you mentioned was the defensive coordinator last year, right? And obviously, defense is a very important part of your all's team. Who's that one defensive player that maybe no one really knows about it that we should really know now?
I'm gonna go with Josh Estrada.
Josh Estrada?
Corner on the other
Corner.
side. So,
Okay.
Offense?
There you go.
Offense, for sure. Brandon Salcedo, our tight end, he could run, he could catch, he could block, he could do it all.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of him since last year, definitely. But no, it's always good having those guys that you can rely on that side of the field. What's it like, being on the sideline, knowing when the defense needs a big stop? Guys like Cameron's gonna have his defense ready to go when when crunch time is really needed. What's it like, having that faith in them?
It's great just having them, knowing they'll get a stop when we really need it. Like against Americas, they made a lot of key stops to help us win the game.
So, how about you, knowing that you got such a good offense back there now that you can actually rely on to put up some of these points? When you got one of those defensive battles, how does it feel to knowing your guys are ready to launch that ball and get you some points when needed?
It's good having that feeling that as soon as our defense we get a stop, that it's gonna pay off. That our offense is gonna go out there, put some points up, show that we're not just one side of the field. We can play the whole damn game.
That's good. You know, before we finish off, I gotta ask you, man. I watched the game. I watched the overtime. You know, scrambled right, scrambled left, find the guy in the back of the end zone. What was it like in that moment?
No, it was really crazy. Everybody went crazy, and you know, it's just a big play for us. Busted, but we got to find a touchdown in the end of it.
So that wasn't like a design play that coach drew up for you. Scramble right, scramble left.
No, sir.
Guys, we gotta know. All right, before the game, what's your go-to song, go-to meal?
You know, I like to get a little flatbread from Tropical Smoothie before the game.
That's fire.
Then my favorite song had to be Vet Motors by NBA Youngboy.
There you go. How about yourself?
I'm gonna go with some pasta, some fettuccine alfredo, and then
Some carbs.
definitely carb
We'll
load.
be running around, huh? There you go.
For song, I'm gonna go "Run This Town" by Jay-Z.
Ooh, that's an old school one. That song
Yeah.
goes hard. All right, post game meal after a dub, not after a L, after a dub. What y'all got?
Whataburger all day, Whataburger all day.
Really? What's the order?
Get a number 2 large fries with a large Powerade.
We got the honey barbecue chicken strip sandwich with a cinnamon roll on the side.
He said, "Ooh." all right, fellas. So here at the show, of course, we want to say thank you guys for coming on. You guys have a bye this week? You guys off this week or?
No, sir. Play Socorro.
Okay. Well, best wishes this week against Socorro. You know, you guys go out there, play hard. I want to say thank you guys for coming on the show. It was definitely an honor.
Pleasure, guys. I think the best of you guys. I honestly wanted you. I didn't know who you were personally. I think you're the best corner in the city right now, and I'm a huge fan. I'm glad I actually got to meet you, man.
Thank you.
I think you're a great quarterback. Mr. Southern, you're going to do wonders, and I like the way that you said you're going to be going into the playoffs. I'm all for that.
All right, good.
Thank you,
Best of luck,
guys.
Thank you, guys. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the rest of the games that's going down here in the 915 this week. First one is on Thursday, the 14th, going down at the SAC. Is going to be the Socorro Bulldogs versus the Knottwood Rams. Briefly, who you got?
Not. Stop. I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm going to start with the Montwood Rams because I don't know if anybody else in the whole city picked them to beat Americas. Does anybody know if anyone else besides me and A-Rod picked them to...
I picked them too.
We got to go
Go
back
back
and
to the
see
poll.
this.
I know. I don't know about anybody else. Everybody had... I called it. I lone wolfed it. They came through for me in dramatic overtime fashion with triple overtime, right?
Yep.
I tell you what, later on we're going to have some of the kids on here. Some of them young men, 2 stellar performers. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to interview them because I might get too emotional because the way they pulled through for me. So I'll try. I don't know. But I tell you what, they came through. They didn't let me down. And I missed the mark on a couple game of the week picks.
Yeah, me too.
But on
Not the only one.
on the sleeper game of the week, I lone wolfed it. Maybe there was somebody else behind the scenes picking them. We don't know that for sure. But it was definitely me. It was definitely me for sure.
All right, cool. So with that being said, who you got this game and why?
Hey, I'm not going to go out on a limb here. I think I'm going to take Montwood over Socorro.
All right.
Hey, listen, I didn't take Montwood. I take it back. You guys know, like, you kept making fun of me. I'm a big fan of Mr. Harrelson. I think the world of him. I think these guys had a very good game, so I'm going to go ahead and go with Montwood.
Yeah, pretty easy. Mountwood, Socorro, I guess, doing a great job, but yeah, Mountwood. All right, moving on. Friday, the early game at the SAC. Sparta is looking for their revenge game back against the Aztecs against El Dorado. Mario, talk to me.
I will be there firsthand, and I will take Pebble Hills specifically because I think it's a revenge game for them.
Pebble Hills.
I'm gonna take Pebbles as well, of course, as an El Dorado alum. I know I love the school, but too much Sparta for you. All right, Americas against Franklin. Brent, talk to me.
All right, so
Going
last
down-
week,
keep in mind it's going down on the west side.
hey, that being said,
Add 4
Still
points. Add 4 points.
hey, I'm still taking Americas. I had to pick against them last week. I just think Montwood had that fire, but this week I think they've lit that fire under Americas now. I know we don't like to talk about injuries to kids on the page or on the show. I know they got a few over there, some kids sitting. But I just think America is, I don't even think that's going to be the main factor. I think the main factor is I think America's is going to be pissed off on that one. I'm going to take America's.
You know, you beat me to it. I was going to say that America is another revenge game for them. I think they're a little upset over that triple overtime. They're going to come out. Cam, I'm expecting him to have a huge game.
Again.
Again.
I'm gonna go away from you guys. I'm gonna pick the Franklin Cougars. Reason being is because they had a rough start. They had a bad game per se against Coronado last week in their eyes. Coronado played great, but I think Franklin is gonna protect their home field. It's not easy taking that 45-minute drive out there with all that traffic going on to get ready for a game. So it's no fun at all. And the battle of two of the best quarterbacks in 1-6A go down Friday night. So it's going to be fun, but I'm going to take the Franklin Cougars. All right, and then, of course, we've already made our picks for Coronado against Eastlake. So now we're going to move on to the 5A games. The first one on our list is Parkland Chapel. We've made our picks already. We're going to go ahead and move on to the Hanks Knights against the Austin Panthers. Interesting game. Tell me about it, Brent.
Hey, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I'm going to go Hanks on this one. I tell you what, I like what Coach Belize has done out there. Friend of the show. Hey, it's a reoccurring thing. Friend of the show, success. So I'm going to take Hanks on that one. Panthers off to a slow start this season. I think I'm taking Hanks.
You know, Panthers are due. You're absolutely right about that. But I think the difference is Coach Belize. I'm going with the Knights.
Knights, big. I would like to see Austin eventually move up that super freshman Sal and let him get some burn on varsity. See what he got.
Hey man, let's be honest. What's one more running back over there at Austin, man? It's like that's what they do. So yeah, bring them
but
up.
Hank's big. All right, moving on. Down at Lions Stadium, interesting matchup. We had a couple upset Bel Air fans. The Bel Air Highlanders traveled down to Clint, Texas, to play the Clint Lions.
Brent, hey, I tell you what, there are some upset people from Bel Air. Again, we talked about the other shows. Some of those other shows did not pick Bel Air to win, man. They picked, I guess, a slight upset. I wouldn't call Clinton necessarily an upset, man. They've been playing well, good football this year. And my man Kenny Davis sent me a message, said he assured there will be 50 points hung on Clint.
Like a 50-49 or like a 50 to like.
Hey man, 50 points is 50 points, man. Hey, well, as long as you score, as long as you
and a dub or 50 points.
As long as, I guess in my mind, as long as you, if you hang 50 and they score 49 or less, man, that's a win. So you can talk about it. So hey, but Kenny assured me 50 points will go on the scoreboard. They've taken it personal. I see my man Kenny made a couple social media posts, man. Called out my man Ed Stansberry from his show. He was upset about that pick. I don't know about 50 points, but I'm going to agree with Kenny. I think Bel Air takes the win somewhat easily. Mario?
I've seen Clint. I think they have a good program. They got good things going, moving in the right direction. But I also have, Bel Air a little bit big, not entirely destroying them. I wouldn't call it 50, but I would definitely say that they're winning by a good 20.
They take a bottle of off. Right?
Oh, absolutely. If it's in Clint, by all means, I have it on film if you guys ever want to see it. I must have killed about 60, 70 mosquitoes and inadvertently recorded the floor, and they were all there, bro. Take a lot of off.
All right, Rocky. So, we're going to move on to my pick, which is Bel Air versus Clint. I'm gonna pick Bel Air, but it's gonna be interesting seeing how this 4-5-4-6 defense that apparently Bel Air has is gonna match up against that Wishbone Clint offense. But I think that offense is not gonna be able to hang with the points that Bel Air is gonna put up. We're gonna go ahead and move forward to going down at Allen Sepkowitz Stadium in the Northeast. We have the Andrews Eagles going up against the Horizon Scorpions. Andrews is winless on the year. Brent, talk to me.
Andrews gets win number 1.
Mario?
Hey, Coach Sepp, that field is historic to me. I remember getting my butt whooped over that. I'm going to have to go with Andrews getting that win. Horizon, is going to be very, very close.
You got Horizon on your paper.
No. It's good that it's in Horizon, but then it's a Coach Sets.
It's part of our show. It's all right, good. All right, I'm picking Horizon to win. Lone Wolf here. I think Andrews is still got to learn. On Horizon, they're learning under coach. So
We gotta address it again, man. What's up with the Andrus scorer for Max Preps that just puts erroneous scores on there? It's just not. It's unchristian if you're a Christian. It's unreligious if you're religious. It's just not nice. Jesus.
What he does is just to get on the. He wants to.
all
see a
right,
little-
all right. Here we go. Anyways, so we talked about our other game. We talked about Devalle and Kennetil. We made our picks already. Another one. Winless Burgess Mustangs go up against the Isleta Indians at the Res. Down at the Res. Mr. Lower Valley himself. What you got?
Gotta take the Burgess Mustangs getting that win.
I'm going Isleta.
And I'm with you, Brent. I'm gonna go Isleta.
You guys do realize that's what you guys both went Isleta, and I took Bowie, right?
Cool. That game didn't finish,
Would have ended the same way.
unfortunately.
Cut that fucking
Don't
shit out too,
talk
man.
about that,
Jesus
bro.
Christ, man. What the fuck?
Dude, I'm gonna have to edit the hell out of it. This was not coming out till Saturday, man.
All right, here we go. All right, so we're gonna move on to the Parkland Matters at the Chapin Huskies. We talked about that game already. We're gonna move on down in another mosquito land, but they actually have turf, so it's not gonna be bad. Fabian's Wildcats going up against the El Paso Tigers. Brent,
I'm going EP.
Mario.
EP with a running back, he's been doing some nice things out there.
I think Coach Lavario's squad does not pull this off, and unfortunately they're gonna lose to the El Paso Tigers. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move down to the big game of the South Side, down at the Sun Bowl on a Saturday at 11 a.m. The Bowie Bears taking on the Jefferson Silver Foxes. Brent, what you got, my guy?
It's hard right here. I'm going Jeff.
All right, I'm gonna take Bowie because of many reasons. Also. Mario,
Good enough with me.
we know already.
Side with that one.
It's all good. All right, now we're gonna finish off with 4A. The Urban Rockets go up against the Mountain View Lobos. Urban is winless on the year. Brent,
Actually,
Mountain View.
Urban beat Jefferson.
They did.
Urban did beat Jefferson. That's right. I'm sorry. Urban's does have a win on the year.
I'm going Mountain View.
I'm gonna go with Urban.
I'm gonna take Mountain View because it is in Mountain View as well. All right, and then the Alamogordo Tigers make a trip down to Riverfront Stadium to take on the Riverside Rangers.
Homecoming for them.
Homecoming for Riverside. And I agree. I think this is for all of us. We don't pick New
We
Mexico
don't pick
schools.
New Mexico. We don't pick
So
New
we're
Mexico.
gonna go ahead and take Riverside. Correct.
Yes, sir.
Alamogordo's solid, but not like Riverside solid. All right, Tornillo against San Lazario. If Mario, what you got?
I got Sanelli.
Where's it at?
San Eli. I know you.
And the mosquitoes win.
San-
Hey, but
San Eli.
definitely San Eli, man. Those
San-
goddamn
San-
mosquitoes,
and
man.
my
Jesus Christ.
My pick
The
is
12th man over there.
San Elisario
Facts.
as well. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and that is all we got for you guys today. Thank you guys for locking in for another episode of week number 4 of the 915 High School Insiders page. Of course, we want to send our best regards to the Esparza family once again.
If you guys have time, and I'm sorry to cut you off, if you guys have time, we will put up that flyer up there for you guys again. If you guys can help out, with that fundraiser, we'd be more than happy.
In any way you can. Yeah, any way you can.
Yes, please, definitely. We greatly appreciate that. Again, to the Oso community here at the show, we want to send you guys our well wishes and regards. And September 17th, don't forget, guys, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., 7363 Dell Road. Burgers, fries, and drinks are $8 to cover any kind of expenses for the young man.
And they will deliver if you order more than 10. If you order more than 10 orders, they will deliver.
So if you order more than 10, they'll deliver. But again, here at the show, we want to say our well wishes. May you rest in peace, young man. Brett Hallman, Mario Rodriguez, Trey Smith. Week 4, that's a wrap. We'll see you week 5.
Thank you.